Hello, hello. Welcome to the party. What's up? What's up? Welcome to the 80s, ladies and gentlemen. Iron Maiden, of course. It's either Iron Maiden or Metallica with me. Alright, let's see. Alright. That's good. Good evening, good evening. How you guys doing? OutRun, huh? Spent too much money in arcades on that? Oh yeah, I understand the feeling, mate. The music is fun, almost tropical. It is actually, yeah. Metatron Protector, oh, that's no hey gig. Good evening, Dreamheart on both Twitch and YouTube Protectorate. Look at that. Good day, Final Fantasy fan. What's your favorite Final Fantasy, mate? Let's see if it's the same as mine. Ooh, I need a drink. I need a drink because tonight I'm grinding. Whew, I'm grinding. Alright. Alright. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. So the game is OutRun. It's a very popular game in the 80s in arcades. So like, yeah, we used to play this a lot. But then they did some portings. One of which is the porting for Mega Drive / Genesis. I have the Mega Drive version. I don't believe I have the Genesis version. I'll have to see. They're pretty much the same thing, just different cover. One is European, one is NTSC American. But anyway, it's a great game. It's a great game. And this is a pretty nice chair, yeah, I have to say. It only took me like, what, 11 years to buy a chair. It's so funny because sometimes I see these YouTubers, they like start, or Twitch streamers, and they like start and after... I don't know, 3 uploads, they already have everything set up perfectly. Instead, it took me a decade. But here we are. Yeah, anyways. So, welcome. Hello, everyone on Twitch, and hello, everyone on the Metatron's Protectorate. We're going to have a good time. So, it's a chill stream. What I mean by that is that I might be speaking a little less and enjoy the retro, the actual vintage. In fact, I shouldn't even call it retro. It's actual vintage. I mean, we're talking 1986, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I'm just going to grind. So I hope you're going to enjoy that. We'll see what happens. But let me put myself top right. I'll be reading chat, of course. I just might... I'll take it slow with this stream, just enjoy. Because one thing I've been enjoying in my late nights in the last few weeks is that I just put a game and just focus on it. I put the music, because these games have amazing music. What you were just listening to is the music from the game. And then I enjoy the graphics. I like that you can see the little palms, the palm trees, and you could see... Plus, I'm amazed at how they managed to do what they did with 2D graphics and still give the illusion of 3D. It's insane what they did. 1 second. And that's also something that, technically speaking, really always impresses me. Favorite Final Fantasy game? So far into Final Fantasy Marathon, my favorite by far are 6 and 7. I see, very cool. And you're on disc 2 of 8. Very nice. My favorite is Tactics. And then I'm going to put 10, but simply because I love the story between Yuna and Tidus. That's the reason why that one really hit me. So, yeah, I would say Tactics number 1, 10 number 2, and then at number 3, I'm going to put 8. I like 7. It's the first one I've ever played. But yeah, I love how the early Resident Evil games create a 3D effect. Well, the early Resident Evil games are 3D. It's just that it's 3D, low poly, of course low poly, but 3D characters and items and monsters on a pre-rendered background But it's still 3D, it's just that it's pre-rendered, so basically it's an image. At that point, the background is 2D and they just interact. You know, that's why you couldn't break anything. Good evening, Petricor. Hey, Makariv. The music is featured in a documentary by Red Bull. Wow. Make sure to play the arcade version if you can. I wish I could, but I don't know how to play it. If you know a way to play that, then I might play it as well. But we're starting with the Genesis, because I know how to play that one on stream, which is the following way. We're using the Vault, as I always do. Whenever I play these games, I always use the Vault. And we're just going to start the game right away. But do let me put myself on the side here so that I can actually see. I would like to give priority. Can I give priority to this? Oh, all right, well, let's just do that then. All right. I have two monitors. Oh, but I'm not there. Aha, I'm back. Let's make sure it adjusts itself. Yeah. Yeah. Are you okay? Now you should be getting music. I'm gonna put the music relatively high because I just wanna absorb it. Woohoo! Welcome to the 80s. Man, I love this game. I'm not very good at it, by the way, just so you know. Plus performance anxiety on top of that. I just love it though. Gonna have a good time. How's the music? Well, right now there is no music, so I'm gonna start easy because this game is already difficult. Let's do a little background. Let's see. Can you hear it? Maybe a little higher. We need that music. All right. Well, let's do it. Yeah, I am Maiden, my friend. Let's give it a try. How are you playing them, Dolphin? No, I'm just on a website. I'm just on a website called The Vault, where you just play the games online. That's it, you don't even need to download. But let's see what we can do. Let's have some fun. Let's relax. Let's go back to vintage. We're still working on that, Carl, but I will give an update soon. It seems like I'm winning it. I think I won it. I don't want to speak too soon, but I think I won that. I think they're gonna pay. Yeah. All right, let's go. And we choose my favorite music, which is Magical Sound. And let's do it. The first one is just trial. Let's go. All right, how do I switch? This way. All right, cool. And this is the break. Yeah. Man, look at that traffic. Oops, that was not good. It's a Ferrari Testarossa with my bella ragazza. Okay. Ow! Did we survive that? Man, I love the music. Only 2 gears, low and high.
Checkpoint.
Checkpoint. Ooh. Man, I'm going nuts here. Ehi, levati di mezzo. I'll show you how an Italian drives. No brakes. That's what happens when an Italian drives. High gear. Excuse me. Permesso, permesso, excuse me, grazie. Checkpoint. Holy moly, we're going fast. Come on. Oops, oops, and down we go. Alright, speed up, speed up. Veloce, veloce. Oh, back to the city. Game over. Alright, we need to try again. So we did... Yeah, not very well. Alright, so that's the thing about this game. It's now let me read the chat. It's more of a driving experience than a race, and you just have to get to to the end, isn't it? And Metatron, I was looking at this €1 houses in Italy. They advertised heavily to Australians. I don't know if they're legit. I heard of it. I haven't got a clue though. Yeah, I don't know how to play the arcade way version on PC. Is this set in California? I think so, but I love that the car is a Ferrari. Is it an official license from Ferrari? Maybe. It might be. What is this game? OutRun, Jonathan. And the music in these old games plays such a key role. Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know how they survived that Final Fantasy. Yeah, it's a testa rossa. I don't really use Linux now. A hot blonde passenger was a must in the 80s. Yeah, that's the Bella Ragazza. Bella Ragazza e Ferrari testa rossa. Man, that's the American dream of an Italian immigrant in America. Oh gosh, fingers crossed. Yeah, Carl. I mean, again, I don't want to speak too soon, but let's just put it this way. I think it's a done deal. It's a done deal at this point. The only reason why I don't say we won, which by the way it's because of you guys, but I'll talk about it. I'll make a stream, dedicated stream, is because I don't know if they're gonna do something like they pay me, but then they don't pay the next month. Imagine if they did that, and then I'm like, hey guys, they paid, but then they didn't. If they do that, they wouldn't be paying technically. So I just gonna wait a second. I want to make sure that they pay. We get the money. They pay the following month. They pay the following month. So everything is fine. I'm like, all right, done. That's the only reason why I'm taking a little longer. It's just wanna. There is an expression in Italian, non voglio cantare vittoria. It's like I don't want to say I've won before all the pieces are on the board, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's thank you, Legato. Let's do it again. But next time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, if it's possible. Well, no, I don't know if I want the sound effect on because all it does is that's what it does. Well, yeah, let's keep it for authenticity, but give me kilometers per hour. And then maybe let's do one. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think I'll keep the because at least it gives an idea that, yeah, one of those situations. And let's do it again. Second trial. Let's do it. Oh, Tyler was asking who owes money. I did make a video, but I just unlisted it after a while. Basically, I had a problem with the MCN that pays me my AdSense, but it's mostly settled. It's like, yeah, don't count your chickens before they hatch. That's exactly what I'm doing. But I am gonna say 99% it's settled, and we won. We won hard, in fact. That's what I'm gonna say. You need a mod that gives the driver a long metal head. I absolutely agree. Let's see if we can make that happen. In the meantime, let's learn to play it. I'm doing the same music because that's my favorite and that's my stream. Come on, do it. We can do it. Let's go. Dai, dai, dai. Ferrari, Ferrari. And high gear. Oh, I didn't give you the music. I didn't give you the music. That's disrespectful. That is absolutely disrespectful. All right, now the music is there, I believe. Yep. Apologies. Let me remove that. All right. Out of the way. Oops. You're right, honey. I'll learn. Okay. I love how the colors change and the background.
Checkpoint.
Which was a big deal in 1986, by the way. Wow, what a... Oh, no, no, no. Holy moly. Oh, damn it. I thought I had it. We can do it, we can do it. 15 seconds.
Checkpoint.
Boom, checkpoint. Ow, I saw it at the end. I'm going too fast. Ciao, Caio ZF. Goodness gracious. 43 seconds, come on. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. Out of the way. Come on, give me a checkpoint. Let's go right. 12 seconds. Oh no. No, 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 no. Checkpoint! Checkpoint! Let's go! Oh, come on. I should have slowed down. I should have slowed down. I don't know what I did. This is not a DUI, right? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it. Almost. "20 seconds. "10 seconds. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. 1 second. Damn it. Whew. A little further this time. We almost reach ending C. We almost reached ending C. I think I can make it if I keep practicing it. Just a regular Tuesday at Texas Highways. That's funny. I am excited for Switch 2. Yeah, we are pre-ordering it tomorrow. My wife and I. We need to put, yeah, like get to pushing it to the mic. Hello, St. Nicholas. I wonder that, Carl. That's a very good question. Whether they would imagine that folks after 40 years would still be playing it. Yeah, I know. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I want to finish the entire game, Warhammer. I will. Maybe not on a chill stream, because Warhammer, I love it, but I have to redo the same battle 10 times to win it. It's one of those things. Yes, it lets me change the BGM on the car radio, but only at the beginning of the we'll do a different music for next run. Favorite Roma Master from the classic Mega Man games? My ultimate favorite is Quickman from Mega Man 2. Like, not even close. Let's do it again. Different music this time. Let's go. I'm grinding tonight, I told you. Are we sure we're playing easy? Yes, we are. Goodness gracious. Alright, let's do... We did this. Let's do Splash Wave this time.
Get ready.
Oh, damn it. Well, that's relaxing music right there. Like the palm trees, are you kidding? With this music? That's my therapy. If I didn't hit the green cars. Alright, let's go right.
Checkpoint.
Mamma mia. Yeah, Genesis version. Ooh, goodness gracious, I'm getting an epileptic shock here. Maybe I won't turn right again, considering this. I'm gonna have a seizure. Alright, good. Ooh, that was a nice overtaking. Almost. I thought I could make it. I thought I could make it. Dai, 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 dai. Forza, forza. Eight seconds. Give me a checkpoint. Don't be a muppet. I gotta push it. 3 seconds. Checkpoint. Boom. And we keep going. We keep going. Unstoppable. No, no, no. Yes, son of a... I really need to learn to brake. It's counter to my bloodline. But I'll have to learn it. Well, look at those 2D flowers. "12 seconds. Come on. We need to push it. Push it." Nah, I don't think we can make it. 6 seconds. Maybe. 2, 1. Oh, come on. The checkpoint was there, motherfucker. Oh, did you see that? Man, the checkpoint was close. Let's have a drink. Yeah, that pressure is real, my friend. They did put a lot of passion in these games, Dreamheart, 100%. Well, we need... Oh, I'm going to play some Porsche Challenge for PlayStation 1 tonight as well. We might play some Need for Speed as well. We'll see. Tonight I'm on a retro mood. Talos Principe. I'll look it up. Okay, next one. I'm gonna try again. Let's change music. Excuse my French. Alright. We need a different music. It's the music, guys. This is the music. We need a different music. Alright. So let's do Step on Beat.
Get ready.
Thank you. It's kind of funky, isn't it? Buonasera, signorina. Okay, it's a good start. Off to a good start. Oh no, break. There we go. Little break here and there. Little break, the man is learning. And we got the checkpoint almost. Let's avoid the seizure section, seizure land.
Checkpoint.
Alright. Okay. Oh, I thought I was gonna hit that tree. Out of the way. What is it with pink cars? Oh, this is not gonna be easy. Alright. I'm gonna slow down a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't be a muppet. Out of the way. Ooh, did you see? Did you see that guy cutting my way? That was insane. I'll have my Sicilian cousins pay him a visit. Excuse me. Oh, damn it. That's the first time we hit. First time we hit. Not bad. Let's not lose control. Let's not lose control. Okay. Let's focus. Seriously. Sì. Purtroppo. Come on. Come on now. Man, this desert part here is it's not easy, is it? Alright, speed up. We need to recover. Alright, back to the city. Checkpoint. Out of the way, please. That's where we hit earlier on, I remember that. I'm very focused. Don't turn right, don't turn right. Alright, careful. Ooh, that was close. Almost checkpoint, come on.
Checkpoint.
That's it. Extended play, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm talking about. Man, who designed these roads? It's like left, right, left, right, left, right. Alright. I think we can do it. We can do it. Just don't hit them. I hate when I do that. Ooh, I think I did it, guys. I think I did it. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! Oh no, I destroyed the whole car. GG though. Look at that one. So we got ending beat. Ooh, that was nice. Man, that was nice. Oh, all I needed to do was brake a little bit. Brake a little bit. That's all you needed to do. I'm just gonna do a little met right there. That was nice. Yeah, I don't have MAME. I'll have to learn how to use it. Man, that was nice. So that was ending B. And depending on, yeah, I know, that's easy. Depending on which of the endings you get, you actually have a different animation. So ending B was my car exploded. Oscan is kind of difficult. I only tried it once. I don't really remember, but I don't think I understood that much. Go, what do we got? Hey, said dude man, good to have you here. You feel like you've been taken back to the 80s. You weren't even alive back then. That's funny. On the 7 Middle Earth films, that could be interesting, say Nicholas. That's a good idea. You never managed to do that? Yeah, it's fun. Just you just need to brake a little, that's all. Brake and then speed up. Have you spoken on the latest pyramid news? I have 2 videos on it already. They're actually taking off. They're like hitting 300,000 views each. 8 a.m. over here in Romania. Oh, really? Isn't it morning in Europe? I haven't got a clue. I'm not in Europe. What a game. How old is this game? 40 plus years old. It's from 1986. Although I believe this is the 1991 porting from Genesis for what I can see bottom right. The original is 1986. 1886. The original was 1986, but it was an arcade game. Man, that was fun. How about we change century? Decade. How about we change decade a little bit and then I might come back to it. Anyways, to show to those who don't know, this is how I'm playing it. I'm on this website called The Vault. You can see here, vimm.net/vault. That's the place. You select the system on the left, Game Boy, PlayStation, whatever the heck you want. Then you've got all the games in alphabetic order up here. And let me just stop this for a second. And then really all you need to do is select the game you want to play. And then I'll show you. I'll just do it now. We swap game a little bit and I'll show you. But I do need to change the game. Let's do a little bit of Porsche challenge, maybe? Ooh, you know what we could do? Oh my gosh, I just thought about it. I have an idea. I have an idea. So there is a game I like a lot. It's for PlayStation. Let's do that one. PlayStation. And then Ace Combat 2. That's what I'm going to play. Let's play a little bit of that. No problem, say Nicholas. GG. But I do need to change it on Twitch, so I don't. Let's do that. So I'm just going to call it. I'm just going to change the game into Ace Combat 2. That's another really good game. We're going to jump between games. Let me remove OutRun from the title. I'll just call it Vintage Chill. Stream should be updated. Yeah, Ace Combat is great. Let's go. So you just select the game and then you have 2 options. Download and play online. I click play online. Start game. And you're set. Now, PlayStation ones take a little bit, but not much. They take maybe a minute to download the game and then decompress it. Genesis, Super Nintendo, NES, they're instantaneous. I understand that, Sombre. Depending on the set, there are some sections of Outrun that are so fast and they put too many things and I just don't drive there, like the middle of the map. I'm like, nah, I'm not going there. I refuse it. Did you see Max had a new video on Roman Banquet? I heard about it. We might watch it tonight. We might have a look at it together. Why not? I'll play a little bit of this, and then we'll check out that video. We'll watch it together. All right. Ace Combat it is. Welcome to PlayStation. Namco. Let me give you some audio. All right. Man, that's the 90s. I don't even care. Best decade ever. Am I right? That's some dog fights. Are you ready for the dog fights? Let's do it. All right, let's do it. Yeah, nice memories. Look at that. All right, start game. Let's go easy first, maybe, and then we progress, because this is old school. Let's start easy, learn the game again. I used to play this a lot back in the day.
A coup d'etat broke out in the military corps' general area code NAP 2700. They saw an opportunity during a time when their leaders were away from the country on a diplomatic mission. After the forces occupied the center of administration, they seized control of important facilities in each district. They are expanding their influence while strengthening their fighting power. Their military capabilities include air and sea forces. It has also been confirmed that they are in possession of extra-powerful cruise missiles. To respond to the rebel forces, the military corps' headquarters made a decision to use the Special Tactical Fighter Squadron Scarface, which consists of...
I didn't know I had to watch the whole thing.
We want you to go on this mission and suppress the coup d'etat immediately. You will receive all-out support from our military corps, full information regarding the rebels, full cooperation through our intelligence division, and military supplies.
Nice.
The situation is tense, and there is no time to waste. Take on this mission immediately.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Situation is tense, guys. Memory allocation, okay. Data transfer, okay. Okay then.
Interception.
Look at that.
It's a rush sortie mission. We have received information that an enemy invasion unit is approaching our front base. It is a small unit with bombers as its main force. Take off immediately and shoot them down.
Shoot them down.
B-52 bomber unit. Good luck.
Moving out, sir. Alright. Take off information. Take off. Alright. A4, F4. This one has higher stability. No, this one has higher stability. Less power. Climbing ability. Let's go for this one. Woohoo! Alright. Let's raise some epic dogfights. Don't let them get away. Yes, sir. And one is down. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, no, no, no. Oh my gosh. Whew. See if we can get them, ladies and gentlemen. Bingo! Ooh, he resists the... Oh my gosh. Alright. We'll finish him off. Bye-bye. So we'll look at that map. Alright. Ooh, that was nice. Alright, the other way. Oh no, wait. Holy moly, the action. I'm on to you, you muppet. I'm on to you. No one gets away. Alright, where is it? Oh, there he is. Damn it. He's pissing me off. That's what you get. That's what you get. Welcome to Freedom Land. Alright. They are Redditors, that's what they are. Good morning, Belnick. Alright, couple more Redditors left, come on. Let's show them the weight of my freedom of speech. Alright, I can see one in the radar. There he is, making posts. And that's what you get! Oh, son of a... Oh my gosh. Oh no! Oh yes, mission accomplished. I thought he took me down. GG! GG! Give him some democracy, come on! Oh, that was nice. Oh, what a game. What a game. I freaking love it. I don't know what it is, but you never seen this before? It's such a classic. And it gives you planes. You'll see. We got a little replay. Plus the music is like, mwah, perfect. Alright, so yeah, pretty nice. Missile launcher, okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. First class, airman, yeah, thank you. And there we go, new aircraft. We're gonna have to try this KFC-7. Maybe I'm gonna try this one next mission. Pursuit of reconnaissance unit.
Pursuit of reconnaissance unit.
Yes, sir.
Our forward base reports radar contact with an enemy unit in flight within the mountain region. Their formation indicates that it seems to be a reconnaissance unit sent to investigate our movements. We need you to take care of this dangerous situation. Target, enemy E-767 early vigilante plane unit. In addition to the early vigilante plane, the escorting fighters are poised to strike. Keep your back covered.
The exporting drivers are muppets. Take off. Moving out, sir. Alright, so we got this. Where is the other plane? Hey, where's my new plane? Seriously. Or maybe I need to pay for it. Well, let's try this other one. We didn't try this one. Let's try it. Let's try it. Codename Easy Money. Let's go. Let's see the player. It's a pretty cool plane. Oh, that guy was fast. That guy was fast. Alright, not a problem. Bandits, 6 o'clock. There they are. Alright, let's take them out. Bullseye, how about that? Yeah, they're around me. Alright, let's take that one down. Alright. Yeah, I saw you. Where do you think you're going? That's what a professional looks like. Alright, let's take out the red ones. Gotta speed up a bit. There he is. Ooh, goodness gracious. Don't let him get away. Alright, I'll take him, don't worry. Goodness gracious, these guys are crazy. Okay, he's out. Careful. Hey, they must be armored. Because he took like a full missile on. Damn you. I'm on to you. Alright, where are they? There he is. That's it. Woo! Oh, I get him. I got him. That was nice. Okay. Where do you think you're going? Well, take this one out. Alright, not a problem. That was good. That was, man, it feels so good to hit them. I don't know what it is, but they did that one right. Let me tell you this much. Hey, spotted. Enemy sighted. How are we doing here? Alright. Let's go get the red one. Alright. He's in the radar, There he is. Alright, let's get to his tail. Where is he? There he is. You're pissing me off. Alright. GG, ladies and gentlemen. GG! That's what you get when you act like a muppet. Man, it was good. It was good. It was good. What a game. You're a dominant, but not much against my recent arguments. That was a good one, Legetu. That was a good one. All right. Still great. 30 years later, still great. Siphon Filter was pretty good. Siphon Filter? Is that how you pronounce it? Ace Metatron Gemini. Yep, Shinkage. So, alright, let me figure out this thing about the... Oh, that's where you buy... Okay. So I could buy this, which has a lot of stability. So I'm gonna buy it. Yes, please. Nice. Alright, now we got the new plane. Let's have fun with it. Let's have fun with it. We can do one more.
Surprise attack on the supply
Surprise attack.
We have
That's a Tuesday for me.
An enemy aircraft carrier has entered a port in Anchorhead Bay and is now resupplying.
Elephants over the Alps. That's it.
Develop an operation at sea with the carrier as their main force. We will make a surprise attack on the carrier and the supply facilities while the enemy resupply operation is in progress.
Enemy resupply. I'll show you resupply.
Enemy aircraft carrier and all supply facilities.
Everything.
The bay is alive with anti-aircraft fire, and we have reason to believe there will be a warship accompanying the carrier.
Man, a warship.
Extra precaution is necessary at the time of attack.
It's getting harder here, but take off we do. I can do it. And now we got the new plane. This one, which I'm not even sure it's that great of a... I mean, I guess he has more stability, less mobility. Let's try it. Nice paint job, though. I'll give him that. Is pizza a big sandwich? Alright, let's do it. Let me have a look at the plane. Alright. Ooh, we got this. Look at the city. Look at the low poly city. I love it. Engage! Those guys are just messing around. Look at the city. Man, I love it. See if we can do some fancy stuff. Woohoo. I'll stop messing around. It wants me to go to the bay. Let's go to the bay. Alright, that's our target. Slow down. Let's see if we can take him. Alright, we took one down. That's gonna take some work. But that's why they pay us. Am I right? That's taxpayer dollar right there. Oh, that was nice. Gun. Bingo. Careful, we don't want to stall. I think we have one more to take out. So let's just move around. There we go. Oh no, we have got two, I think. Even the system tells me, pull up, what are you doing? I'm like, let me go. I'm the professional here, don't worry about it. It's all under control. It's all under control. I mean, literally, my name is Raffaello, which is RAF, which is RAF, Royal Air Force, I guess, although this sounds more like American Air Force, to be honest. Nice. Now let's take out these Muppets. Yeah, I recognize the missiles. This is definitely Freedom Line missiles. 100%. Alright, so one more to go. Let me see. Yes. Got him. Got him. That was nice. Woohoo. USA. 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 Man, they better give me citizenship after this one. That was nice. In and out, exactly. That was nice. What a game. What a game. Boom, boom. Yeah, pretty much. That's what it was. How much did we get paid, by the way? I don't know, but we got a lot of money, seems like. 44,320 credit. Senior Airman. That's me. New aircraft available. Ooh, F-16. That's like nice. Yeah, X-15. Love it. Alright, let's do one more. This is the last one for tonight. And then I'm gonna watch some videos. Can we buy the F-16? Come on. Yes, we can. Yes, we can, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. That's a successful man right there. Is it the Iron Eagle plane? Well, that'd be cool. Alright. Mission. Let's go. Attack on the front base.
Attack on the front base. By analyzing the enemy strike pattern, our intelligence division has successfully determined the location of the enemy's front base. The operations target this time is to attack this base and to halt the enemy's firepower in the front lines. Target: the enemy's front base. The enemy has commandeered an old castle in the hill country and is now using it as their fortress. Watch out for an attack by the enemy bombers and take extra precaution against anti-aircraft fire. Beginning with this operation, escort planes will be available to aid you on your
Oh,
mission
nice.
should you require
Escort
assistance.
planes. Cool.
Think about each situation carefully and give strategic instructions to each plane before takeoff.
I see.
Good luck.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. I don't know how to do that, but great. Takeoff information. Well, I guess takeoff, but let me create a save state because things are getting more serious here. Done. Alright. No support with support. Yeah, let's get this Edge girl here. She can support us. Tactical. Cover my tail, engage enemy aircraft, secure the base, attack enemy ground unit. Yeah, she'll do some ground units. Help me with that. Cool. And my plane is gonna be the F-16. It's gonna be epic. This is gonna be epic. Time to liberate the castle, Legetu. Alright. Let's have a look at it. Alright, that's where it is. Right in front. Let's speed up. Let's slow down. Damn it. Alright, let's see if we can get a nice hit. Man, that's a lot of targets. One is out. Two is out. Nice. I could have... Ooh! Holy moly, that was close. How are we doing on the map? Alright, let's go around and let's get back. Give him no quarters. Alright, let me see. Further left. West side of the river. I think I need to take out the guns first. Nice. Man, that one is not easy. That one is not easy. I need to go really low. It is really good music, yeah. Alright, let's go. We can do it. Enemy F-16. We'll have to be careful about that. Probably has good firepower. My gosh! Couldn't they send in like an armor? Like some armor? Some tanks? Just for support? Oil tank. I missed it. I missed it. Alright. We can do it. I appreciate that, Sarah. Thank you. Appreciate you for being here. Alright, take him out. Bye-bye, baby! Woohoo! Man! That's it. That's what I'm talking about. It was actually easier than I thought. I hear some UK in your accent. You may have mentioned traveling. Oh yeah, that's where I picked up my English when I was in my late teen. Although, I mean, if you are from the UK, or in general, if you're a native English speaker, you can tell I'm not native. But I think you can pick up sometimes when I get excited. It's kind of a mix, isn't it? Sometimes I say things in a weird way, and sometimes I say things in another way. That was fun. That was great. I loved it. All right, so let's save and exchange. That was good. That's what you get, you muppet. All right. Lot of money, 55,570 credit. We are rich. Sergeant, we have become a sergeant. Can't wait to be a lieutenant. All right, let me save. Save state created. I'm gonna save in game as well. I don't really need to though. Oh, let's do it. Nice. Okay. Well, that was lovely. Ace Combat 2, loved it. That was really good. Still a great game to this day. Still a great game to this day. All right, let me see what what's his name is doing. What do you think of the channel? Survive the Jive. I don't know them. Survive the Jive. Let's have a look. Survive the Jive 200. Let me share my screen. Survive the Jive 253,000 subscribers. History films about ancient pagan religions. Ooh, that sounds fun. And Trump's ancestry did 3 months ago. Oh, I must have seen this thumbnail. This is the original symbol, so he probably means he's not talking about the actual swastika, he's talking about the Indian symbol, I think, which I believe was originally some kind of symbol of peace or something. I don't remember exactly what it means, but I know it's Indian, at least, I think. Roman Istanbul, Stone Age Village. This could be interesting to watch. Love the beard. Nice. Okay, Celtic Hilt Forts. Yes, I need to make my own. I think he's talking about the Oppida. I am preparing my own video on that. Seems like an interesting channel. Definitely check him out. Tonight, though, I do want to check what's his name. Wait. Let me see. What's the name of the Muppet? Can't remember his name now. The one about the one about food. Max Miller. Let's go. Max Miller, what are you up to? Stop making interesting videos about Rome. Oh my gosh. You see, I had dinner. It doesn't matter. When you deal with Max Miller, you can have dinner like 15 minutes before watching his videos and it doesn't matter. So what have we got? Ancient Roman dining. How to host an ancient Roman dinner. Wow. I mean, that's fun. That sounds fun. Yeah, let's watch it. Not the whole thing, as usual. Watch a little bit. But let's check it out. 14 hours ago, man, that's new.
Roman banquet. So you
Let's go. I see chicken everywhere.
So you want to host an ancient Roman banquet. Of course you
Yes,
do.
of course
Well,
you
there's
do.
lots to know if you want to be a good host. But first and foremost is you need a centerpiece dish, something to really wow your guests. Like this ancient Roman recipe for roast flamingo.
No way. Roast flamingo. I thought it was chicken. Roast flamingo.
So
What?
thank you to Hungry Root for sponsoring this video as we learn how to host an ancient Roman banquet. This time on Tasting History.
Okay, there's no way he actually found the flamingo and cooked it in his oven. There's no way. That's gotta be chicken, right? Isn't flamingo toxic? I don't know. I mean, maybe. Oh, no way. Nah, it's gotta be chicken. Or turkey. There's no way he's gonna say it now. Check this out.
Now, whether you're planning on hosting a raging bacchanal with hundreds of guests or just having a small little dinner for a few friends, it is your obligation as host to provide some exquisite cuisine.
Provide a
and for the
flamingo.
most exquisite cuisine in the ancient Roman Empire, we turn to Apicius, the great Roman
yeah.
gourmand of the 1st century. Pliny the
You know, when it comes to Apicius, when a friend of mine, Salvo, we did a collaboration together like 6 years ago, and we specifically used two of his recipes. So I'm a little familiar with the guy. Usually I'm not, because I'm not that much into recipes, but Apicius, yes.
The elder wrote that Apicius, that very deepest whirlpool of all our epicures, has informed us that the tongue of the pink flamingo is of the most exquisite flavor. Now, finding flamingo tongue turned out to be not so easy, nor was finding a flamingo in general. I'm no longer welcome at the LA Zoo. But I was able to find a recipe for flamingo from ancient Rome from Dere Coquinaria, often called Apicius, in honor of that famous gourmand. And it says, for flamingo.
Yeah.
Pluck the flamingo, wash, tie, and put it in a pot. Add water, salt, dill, and a little vinegar. Halfway through cooking, add a bundle of leek and cilantro and cook. When it is nearly done, add defrutum to give it color. Pound in a mortar pepper, cumin, coriander, silphium, mint, rue. Moisten with vinegar, add dates, pour over some of the drippings.
So basically it's for someone who is already quite wealthy, really, for the kind of stuff that he mentioned in there. Yeah. Flamingo tongue. Do you speak that? Maybe we're going to have you might need a B2, at least a B2.
Put it in the pot, thicken with starch, pour the sauce over the bird, and serve. The same recipe can be used for parrot. So should you not be able to
okay.
find a flamingo,
Yeah.
a parrot will do just fine.
Great.
And barring that, I suppose you could use a goose or a duck, which is what I'm going to use.
I told you, okay, so I kind of half guessed it. I thought it was going to be chicken or turkey. We got a duck. I'd say it's not as nice as a flamingo, but we'll accept the duck. You know, I have had duck a couple of times. The way I like it the most is the Beijing Kaoya, the Beijing, like Peking, Beijing, whatever you call it in English. I don't know. I know it in Chinese. I know it in English. Yeah, Beijing duck, Beijing Kaoya, 很好吃. It's very good.
So for this recipe, what you'll need is 1 duck or goose, 2 tablespoons of salt, a small bunch of dill, a quarter cup or 60 milliliters of white wine vinegar, 2 leeks, a small bunch of cilantro, 3 tablespoons de frutum. This is a sweet and delicious syrup
Wine,
of reduced grape must, and it can still be found today under the name of sapa or saba, but it is kind of hard to find, so you can use some balsamic glaze in a pinch.
Okay,
Then
cool.
2 teaspoons of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 2 teaspoons of coriander seed, and a half teaspoon of asafoetida.
Do you got asafoetida? That's gonna get intense in a little bit. That one smells. So when it comes to what did he just mention? Cumin.
Spoon of cumin, 2 teaspoons of coriander seed, and
Is it just me? But coriander seed, when it gets in your mouth and you crack it with your teeth, it's horrible. I hate it. Is it just me? This is a memory from years ago because my mum used to enjoy occasionally putting in stuff like that.
a half teaspoon of asafoetida. Sometimes known as hing, you can find this in many Indian grocery stores, and I'll put a link to where you can get it online. It is very, very pungent. The aroma is until you cook it, and then it is like a wonderful garlicky, oniony flavor. And it is what the Romans used after they ate through their entire supply of silphium. Though there have been articles written recently that it might have been found in Turkey and I think in Greece. I've read the articles. It seems that it's probably a relative and nobody's really sure, but hopefully I get to try it one day regardless.
I wonder how ancient we're talking when it comes to these sort of herbs and plants and odori, like we call them in Italian. Because, I mean, if it was used in Greece, of course, yeah, whatever. But if it was used in Turkey as well, I wonder if someone like the Hittites were using it as well. Been interesting. Man, this guy is great. This guy's great.
Then 10 to 12 leaves of mint, 1 tablespoon of rue leaves. The Romans loved rue. It is a little bitter. You can buy it dried, which makes me grateful for today's sponsor, Hungry Root, which...
Okay, while we check the sponsor, I do need to change on Twitch, remove the game, and just turn it into just chatting. So that, here we go. Twitch doesn't get mad at me. How are we doing here? From word odor, my mind going to scent. Yeah, exactly. That's basically what it means. Metatron, do you know about Voynich manuscript? Would be interesting to make a video about. I'm not familiar with that right off the bat, so I'll Google it, but one moment. Just out of curiosity, and then we get back to, just because you got me, manuscript is an illustrated codex. Oh, yeah, the one with all the plants and stuff, yeah. Is this... It's a 15th century one, I see. It reminds me of an ancient Roman one, which is actually fascinating because it shows some kind of root that looks like a carrot and it's orange, which you wouldn't expect. Probably not a carrot because, you know, orange carrots are like 16th century and it shouldn't be found. But there is this one that really looks like a carrot. It's fascinating. Maybe we'll check it out. But anyways, let's... I changed that. I updated it. All right, so Hungry Root, that's a nice sponsor right there. Get that money, mate. Happy about it. Ooh, what is he making,
artificial sweeteners and preservatives, and the meat and seafood provided are free of...
Okay, you got some pasta, looks good. All right, good. Get your sponsor, guy.
Hungry Root is offering an exclusive offer of 40% off of your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. That's 40% off of your first box, plus a free item of your choice for life. HungryRoot.com, my code, Tasting History. And
did you notice he said it twice? That's because it's a requirement. Oftentimes, I'm telling you a little bit from behind the scenes here, but oftentimes sponsors do require that you do the call to action twice on the same video. It doesn't have to be back to back, but you have to do it twice within that section. So that's why he did that. We are instructed to do it. It's part of the contract.
Now, back to our duck who is masquerading as a flamingo. So the first thing to know about this recipe, as is the case with many in Dereko Quinaria, is it is incomplete. It's really, you can't follow it step by step the way that it's written. You need to know that this duck, or flamingo, is probably parboiled and then finished off in an oven. And it'll make a lot more sense trying to recreate the recipe if we do that. So start by filling a pot with water and then add the salt, white vinegar, and a bunch of dill. And once the pot is boiling, then set the duck in and parboil for 15 minutes. Then take it off the heat and carefully transfer the duck to a baking dish, breast side up.
It always amazes me to think how ancient people came up with stuff. Like it's obviously a trial and error and then accumulated experience and knowledge from generation to generation, passed down, written down, and all that. But it still fascinates me that someone had an idea and is like, hey, what happens if I do this? And with some of the stuff that they figured out, I'm like, how did you even have the courage to try that? But some did. I mean, think about it. Even the early hunter-gatherers had to really learn which mushrooms you can eat, which fruits you can eat. And this is all before internet, before medicine, before biology, before machines, everything. It's like passed down generationally. But then again, on the other hand, if you were... Of course, we have access to a lot of information on the go, but we don't learn this stuff, which means when we need it, sure, we can find it. But if we are in a situation where we would need it and we don't know it and we don't have access to the internet, we die. And I think a hunter-gatherer who had generational knowledge that he learned and they learned throughout their life, what plants to eat, what foods to eat, how to cook them and all that kind of stuff, and how to build traps and how to hunt prey. Oh yeah, you put me and a hunter-gatherer in a forest if you can travel in time and get one of those. Yeah, I know how to use a computer, but I don't know how to build one. Likewise, I know how to Google stuff, but there is a lot of stuff that I don't know that ancient people would have absolutely known. So there's that. If you're grabbing games from Vim, please don't stream your screen. Do it before the stream less attention that is brought to the site. Oh, I see. All right, I'll make sure I'll remove those sections. Then, Draron, no problem. I'll edit it out. Yeah, I don't want them to be in trouble because maybe they see it. Yeah. All right, let's go.
Then chop up the whites of your leeks and stuff the cilantro and the chopped leek inside of the bird. You won't be eating these, they're just there for flavor.
Okay.
Once it's stuffed, you can truss up the back legs of the bird and then slice the breast in a crosshatch pattern and poke holes into any of the fatty parts of the duck.
So it doesn't
This
explode.
is going to allow the fat to render through and create a crispy skin as it cooks. Then set the duck in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 Celsius, and roast it for 30 minutes. And then take it out and baste it with that defrutum. This will not only give it a sweetened flavor, but also color it just as the original recipe says. Then return it to the oven and continue to roast it for 30 to 45 minutes or until it gets to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Then remove the cooked duck from the oven.
Hey, looking good already. Looking good. Look at that. Hey, everybody, Talos. Yeah, you need a late night snack. I need a late night snack. We all need a late night snack, and it's all your fault, Max Miller. Everything is so specialized these days. The basics are forgotten. I agree, Kalados, absolutely. To exchange, you have a lot of knowledge. What needs some experiencing around, and you have built wonder wheel, writing table, tools, armor, tails. Absolutely, yeah. I wonder how many old culinary herbs we have forgotten about. That possible, yeah.
And then let it cool a bit while you prepare the sauce. For this, you want to mince the mint and rue as finely as possible, and then in a mortar and pestle, grind up the pepper and the cumin and the coriander, and then in a clean mortar, grind up the chopped dates into a fine paste. Then add in the minced herbs and the spices, and finally the asafoetida, and grind everything together until it's well incorporated and as smooth as you can get it. Then add in the white wine vinegar and continue. Then this all goes into a small saucepan along with the drippings from the duck. Then set this over medium heat and let it simmer for about 5 minutes. Then
let it simmer.
The recipe says to thicken it with some starch if you need it, because I found that my duck just didn't give off enough drippings to make it, so I needed to thicken it up very much. Maybe if I had that flamingo or possibly a large parrot, I would have had enough, but my duck...
Yeah, flamingo #1. So here's the thing. When he was talking about, where is he? So, oh yeah, that's what I was thinking while I was seeing operate the mortar and pestle. You know what I was thinking? I don't know if it's just me, so let me know, guys. Let me know. But it's like when you buy, let's say you buy a pesto, right? Then you buy it from the little jar, you open it, take it, put it on the pasta, eat it, and it's good, great. But when you make it, when you actually make it from scratch, whatever it is, it tastes better. Now, it could be because your ingredients are fresher rather than something that has been mass-produced or maybe higher quality. But do you think there is also some form of psychological reason why something that you make yourself ends up tasting better to you? Do you think there is some psychology to it? Because it happens to me every time. I make pasta sauce from scratch like 10 times out of 10. I don't buy it. I just make it. And in the few times that I tried actually making the pasta too from scratch, I always end up liking it more. So it's just one of those things. Might be the way it has been ground. It's possible, yeah. Anonymous says, I still can't get used to Americans saying herb instead of herb. Oh yeah, they don't pronounce the H, do they? I learned it with the H, so for me it's herb. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's true that in England they say herb, but they can't really be too annoying about it towards Americans because no one pronounces the H in honor, neither Americans nor English. So honor my heir to the throne. You don't say heir, but you do say an hour. Oh, that's right, an hour. You don't say an hour. So there are a lot of H's that are not pronounced really. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Oh, he does talk about the H pronunciation in one of his videos? That's interesting. I'll have to find it. Cool.
Duck. It didn't. But even though I couldn't find a flamingo, I think that this dish is going to be a real showstopper, a must-have item for any ancient Roman dinner that you're going to host. Speaking of hosting, just a reminder that I'm going to be hosting a river cruise down the Nile next February 2026.
Really?
So if you want to sign up for that, link is in the description.
Cool.
As for hosting an ancient Roman dinner, here are a few more pointers to make sure your evening goes off without a hitch. So you want to throw an ancient Roman dinner party?
Yes.
Well, first things first. How big do you want this shindig to be? Because there are really two ends of the spectrum. Like the Emperor Claudius gave frequent and grand dinner parties as a rule in spacious places, where 600 guests were often entertained at one time.
Sounds like him. We need some color on those statues and columns.
For most, this was not the norm, not at all. For most, and when I say most, I mean the upper echelon of society, the patrician class, because actually most people couldn't ever dream of having a home big enough to even host a dinner. But for that upper echelon, well, most of them kept their parties pretty small. 9 invited diners was the ideal. But even...
Man, 9 is small? I go nuts when we invite 2 people over for dinner. I'm already like anxious. Because I have to like double everything because I'm not used to it.
With just 9 invited guests, a lot more people may end up showing up, but we'll get to that later. Now, when you are inviting people, you can use either formal invitations that you send via messenger, or you can keep it a lot more casual, even last minute. You will dine well, Julius Cerialis, at my house. If you have no better plans, come. You will be able to observe the 8th hour. We will bathe together. You know how near Stephanus's baths are to me. First you will be given lettuce, useful for relaxing the stomach, and shoots cut from their parent leeks. Lettuce and leeks, how enticing. Now you'll note that he suggested that they bathe together before dinner, and that was the custom. In the early afternoon, the patrician men of Rome would make their way to the baths where they could bathe and have massages before returning home for dinner. And
Sounds like the Romans. It's kind of funny that you're really telling someone, hey, come for dinner, I'll give you lettuce. We're going to start with some lettuce, man. You're going to miss out. Come on, man. Lettuce.
Because of this, it was not uncommon for many of your dining companions to also be your bathing companions, something that the poet Martial complained of. You don't invite anyone to dinner, Cotta, except your bathing companions.
Yeah.
The baths alone supply you with guests. I've been wondering why you never invite me, Cotta. Now I understand.
Cotta, what are you doing? You know what's funny about the name Cotta? Is that it's the word we use in Italian when we talk about a male shirt. We say cotta di maglia. I don't know. I think it comes from the word cotte, probably French. They use it in German as well, I believe. But yeah, cotta di maglia. Cotta is, and then cotta if you just wanna. It also means cooked, but I don't think that has no connection with the male. I don't think. But cotta di maglia.
You don't like the sight of my bare butt. A surprising number of Martial's epigrams have to do with being invited to dinner, or him bemoaning the fact that he wasn't invited to dinner. To his friend Gallus, he complained that our dinner invitations are one-sided. When I ask you, you usually come, yet you never ask me. I shouldn't mind, provided you ask nobody else. However, you do.
Man, that's crazy. We got an offended Roman here. Hey, Gunnar, thank you, Cotta. Snape said calmly. Yeah, thank you for the donation, mate. Cotta. Was lettuce a delicacy in Egyptian times? Well, I have no idea if it was a delicacy in Egyptian time. No idea. And I guess, I mean, if they probably rather than a delicacy, something fresh. You know, as he says, they think it would help you with your stomach, I suppose. But who knows? I know, you Calados. Now, this is the guy, oh my gosh, known for writing about how he was not invited. Ooh, that's funny.
Neither one of us, Gallus, comes out blameless. What do I mean? I'm stupid, and you're shameless. And like I said, you can invite however many people you want to your dinner party. I mean, if this is a big banquet, by all means, fill the space. But for most Romans, and frankly I am of the same mind, a dinner party is for conversation. Yeah. And having too many people can actually stifle the conversation. As Plutarch said, at dinner we should not need messengers as in a camp, or bosuns as in a galley, but we ourselves should immediately converse with one another. The last man should be placed within hearing of the first.
Could you imagine, like, what an experience it would be if, oh my gosh, if I could do that like one day, if you could freaking invent time travel, even though it appears to be an impossibility, of course, but let's dream. Could you imagine if you could go and take part in one of these dinners and listen to the spoken classical Latin during a dinner, not during a not a poem, not a general, not a politician's statement, not something grandiose, but a dinner. And these guys are like speaking Latin to each other with the and oh my gosh, what I would give to do that. It means female cat in Arabic? Really? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. But yeah.
Another reason to keep the guest list small is how the Romans ate. And I mean lying down, typically on their side or their stomach.
I think that's only the upper class, though. I don't think regular Romans would do that. Also because a lot of Romans, they were like working class. They would eat standing quickly. There were a few places, as you of course knows, there were a few places where you could have basically the ancient Roman equivalent of a fast food. There were lots of places like that in Rome city. So you just go in there, maybe there are a couple of legionaries in there, a few people, and then you just grab something to eat, maybe a little soup or bread with whatever, and then eat that quickly standing and get back to work. That's something a lot of Romans did. The whole triclinium and laying down with the grapes, it's a little bit of an upper class thing, as is, for instance, the idea of Romans eating and then throwing up. Have you ever heard of that? It is mentioned in the sources, but only in a negative sense, so they frown upon it, and it's normally speaking about the ultra-rich. Those are the ones that do that. Not all of them do, so not all emperors do that. And those that do are frowned upon, because it's not seen as a good thing. So whenever we imagine this idea of Romans eating, then throwing up so they can eat again, it's not something common. And it's something that even, I would say, even middle to regular upper class would frown upon, and only the ultra-rich would do, and really the most lascivious ones, if that's even a word. Oh, did you see the video about the troll? Thank you so much, Argenteus. He already did a reply, and he denied everything and reused all the accusations. What a clown.
Again, this only applies to the wealthy. Most people just
sat
at a table the way that we do today. Chumps. But for the wealthy, they had a triclinium. This was a dining room characterized by a setup of 3 lecti, or sofas, in a U-shape with a mensa, or a table, placed at the center. Sometimes it was one large U-shaped sofa with an accompanying U-shaped table, but it was the same idea. Each sofa held 3 people, making 9 the best number of guests.
I wouldn't like to eat like this. It's mostly because I wasn't brought up, of course, like this. Maybe if I was a Roman patrician. But for me, yeah, no, I understand it's supposed to be comfortable, I guess. But then again, I don't like the idea. I don't know about you. What's interesting, though, about the 2 Latin terms that he used, lecti for the sofa and mensa for the table, not only you can still like lecti, we say letti to mean beds in Italian. That's a letto, letti, that's the word. Etymology is the same. We use a different one for sofa. We say, either we use the word sofa, but we pronounce it differently. We say sofa, or we say divano. I think in English there is a word like that. Divan, I don't know how you pronounce it, but I believe you do have a word like that. But when it comes to mensa, I know that mesa, if you remove the N, is table in Spanish. So Spanish is more, in fact, traditional when it comes to this. But in Italian, if you say mensa, exactly written like that, with the N, it means a cafeteria in these days.
Some larger homes might have multiple setups of these sofas in 1 or more rooms, which would allow for larger gatherings, but still, people were generally divided up into groups of 9. Again, Plutarch discusses this sofa setup and poses the question, why is there not enough room for the guests at the beginning of a meal while there seems to be plenty later on?
That's a wonderful question. He's absolutely right on the mark. Let me see. We have divan in Romanian as a seat. Oh, you see, that's interesting. Pretty cool. Cookshops, yep. Laying and eating like that would be like indoors picnic. Mensa's cafeteria in German as well. Really the same. Pretty cool. Let me see Twitch. The herb pronunciation was quite common in British English due to French influence. The H eventually stuck as the standard pronunciation, herb. By the 19th century, however, the dropped H in American English persisted. Yeah, it's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Legetu. In Latvian, divans is a sofa too. Will you look at that? I wonder why the Romans and Chinese never made contact. They did. They did. In the very western provinces, some say they did. There is even like a town in China where they still to this day have like a recurring event to, we don't know how true the event connection is to, if it's just a, but yeah, I'll have to look into that, see if I can. It seems like they did, because I think the Chinese called them the great, like Da Qing, the great Qing being the Qin, sorry, being the name of their empire. But I don't know. I'll have to double check. This is something I haven't double checked in a while, so take that with a grain of salt. Let me see. Just checking the. Okay. Europeans had a hard time in Japan because they all sat on the floor. Yeah, I mean, I lived in Japan for 4 years. You kind of get used to it. I think it's hard. It would be harder if you go there as an older person that is not used to do it. Their elderly, Japanese elderly, can sit on the floor like it's nothing. For one of our elders, might be tough. If you go there as a younger person, though, it's not a big deal. You get used to it. And it does not take place in a vomitorium. Yeah, the vomitorium is just the exit of an amphitheater. That's all it is. I love Japanese society and culture, Daniel. I love it. Yeah, that's why I moved there. It is different. Yeah, when I was there, I often felt like an alien. But then I kind of got into it. And as long as you speak the language, the Japanese are lovely to you, usually.
It is the position of the diners on the sofas, for they lie when they eat almost flat on their stomachs, so that they may reach the table with their right hand. But after one has eaten, he
fascists.
turns his depth, not his breadth, toward the board. So supposing that you have decided to keep your guest count to 9, it is all the more important who you decide to invite. And largely it depends on your own personality.
Of course.
Like, do you constantly need the affirmation of others? Guilty? Well, in that case, you want to invite someone like...
You got my information, I can tell you that much, Max. All right, so for the rest of the history, I'm not going to watch it now because I do want to encourage people to go watch him and give him the like, give him the view, leave a comment and give him engagement. He definitely deserves it for the history, but I do want to see the bird. So let's go.
Overs to pack up, I should at least try this duck prepared as
go.
you would a flamingo.
Yeah.
And here we are. Ancient Roman duck masquerading as an ancient Roman flamingo. Now the recipe says to pour the sauce all over the duck.
Do that.
But frankly, I think the duck is so pretty that I just put it into a little golden bowl for dipping. And dipping sauces, that was actually...
Of course you do, because you're American. You Google guys have to dip everything.
more common than pouring it over in ancient Rome at parties. You would dip. So got some duck, and I'm dipping lots of sauce here.
Sauce. Man, it was a little New Yorker. Sausage. Coffee.
That's really good.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, it looks good.
So the duck is perfect. I thought it would be overcooked. I was a little bit worried, but it's not. It's wonderfully delicious. The skin is very nice. I wouldn't call it crispy, but it's crisp-ish, halfway to crispy. But it's the sauce that's the star, honestly. It's sweet at first from all those dates, but then you get such an savoriness from all of those spices and the herbs, none of which really jump out. Even the asafoetida, even the mint, both of which can easily be overpowering.
They combine.
They're all together in this, and it's just unctuous. Like all of the drippings just kind of coats your mouth. It's very, very luxurious.
Yeah.
But really,
I wonder if we would get much. Like if you eat it, if you did two, you eat third slice, then maybe after that you'd be like, it needs rice. That's a very good point, Talos. So a nice little thing of white rice right next to it to give not rice with flavor, it's just white rice. And then you eat a little bit of that, and then that'd be nice.
really, really good. This might be my favorite Roman sauce that I've made. And I've made a lot of Roman sauces, but this one is really, really good. Plus I like duck. So honestly, you could make this with any bird.
That's great. Hey, I loved it. I loved it. This is great. This duck is greasy in a good way. Man, that's wonderful. I wish I was a duck so that someone could tell me that if I don't wash my hair, which I do. I wash my hair a lot. Recently washed it because, I mean, you know, but it would be nice one day to be told that, I guess. Cool stuff. Yeah, I loved it. It was a good video. Very, very fun. But I heard that someone made a video on Sicilian. You know who I'm talking about, guys? Do you know who I'm talking about? Someone made a video about Sicilian, and I've got to check it. Yep, that's the man himself, the greatest Lang Focus, Lu Siciliano. Man, I hope, because I love the guy. So, but I can be a bitch when it comes to my dialect, my language, right? So I'm gonna be nitpicky because I am. But let's jump right into it.
In this video,
Italy, yeah, Sicily, the Palermo. That's my home right there. Let's see how it goes.
In this video, we're going to talk about the Sicilian language,
O siciliano.
which is spoken in Sicily, of course, Italy's southernmost region. The nation of Italy is home to numerous dialetti, dialects that can be grouped together with similar ones and classified as languages.
Yeah.
One of those languages is the national language Italian, but there are others like Sicilian. While Sicily is closer to Malta and Tunisia than it is to Rome, the Sicilian language is not related to Arabic or its descendant Maltese. It's an Italo-Romance language, like other languages of central and southern Italy. So
Yeah, he's correct. So did you notice that at first it said, like on the title, it says Lu Siciliano, but then the voice said U Siciliano and he gave that option. Personally, I would say U Siciliano with a U Siciliano. I wouldn't say Lu, but it's probably dependent on which area of Sicily, because that's in fact one thing that I hope he's going to say. I'm sure he will, he's a pro, that there isn't one single Sicilian. And for instance, the Sicilian I speak in Palermo is very different from the Sicilian spoken, say, in the eastern coast. So for instance, Catanese, Catania, Messina, but also from Agrigento, the southern Sicilian, or even Trapani is different, and the vowels system is also very different, and Trapani is not that far away from Palermo. So also when he said it's not related to Arabic, it's true, but it does have some common vocabulary from Arabic. So that one does exist. But I'm sure, I mean, I'm not, that would be a massive nitpick because he didn't say that, and I'm sure he's going to say that. So let's go.
it has a lot in common with Standard Italian,
Yeah.
which developed from Tuscan dialects, but has a lot of little differences as well.
Yeah.
I once heard Joe Rogan say that his Sicilian ancestors didn't speak real Italian. They actually spoke some pig Latin type shit.
Oh, please. Did Rogan say that? Oh, no. Come on, man. Come on.
But Sicilian is not a pig Latin version of Italian
Thank you.
or broken Italian. It's a different language that's
Thank you.
similar to Italian. History.
Exactly. In fact, Sicilian, if we really want to say, yeah, you see how it's dividing what I just told you? This guy's great. So, the way I look at it is that Sicilian is not a dialect of Italian. Sicilian is a dialect of Latin, just like Italian is a dialect of Latin. They are sister languages. Now, the simple fact that now in our day and age, Italian is the standard language. I speak it, of course, natively. And Sicilian is relegated to the status of a dialect, just like many other dialects from other regions of Italy. It's just a matter of social linguistics, but it's not a matter of, well, one is not actually a language. No, that's why people call them regional languages, and I think it's more apt as a description. But yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Not much is known about the original languages of Sicily, which were gradually displaced by Greek during the period of Hellenic colonization. But then by the year 241 BC, the Roman Empire had conquered Sicily in the First Punic War and ruled it until the 5th century. Latin began spreading and was the language of administration and the elite, while Greek was still spoken by much of the general population, especially in urban areas and in eastern Sicily.
And then they swap. So Latin becomes the language that everybody speaks, and then Greek becomes the language that the elite start speaking because it makes them sound cultured. Would you call Romance languages dialects of Latin or evolution of Latin? Both, really. It's kind of both. They are evolution because, of course, there is a massive difference in time, but pretty much they could be considered as dialects emerging from Latin, and then once you distance them enough, then they are evolutions of it. It's a good way to do it. You could frame it both ways and it wouldn't be wrong.
Many people became bilingual in Vulgar Latin and Greek.
Not Vulgar Latin, mate. I'm not gonna... Usually I get really mad when people say that, but I like this guy, so I'm not gonna get too mad. But Vulgar Latin, I'm a massive... I attack the notion that Vulgar Latin was a thing. I don't think Vulgar Latin existed. It's Latin. I've already defended this many times, so I'll just do it very quickly. But the idea is, when people say that Romance languages did not, because that's how people say it, he didn't say that, which is why I'm not going to attack him directly. But when people say Romance languages like French, Romanian, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, what have you, they do not derive from classical Latin, which had already stopped being used. It derived from Vulgar Latin, and they make a distinction. The distinction is nonsense. The idea that they would be two separate languages is not true, and the reality is that it was all Latin, and so yeah, the Romance languages derive from Latin. And the difference between classical Latin and Vulgar Latin is simply a matter of register, in the sense that, yeah, if you go to a lecture at a university and you listen to a professor giving that lecture in English, he will not use the same vocabulary, and sometimes even the pronunciation may change, or the way he builds up his structures, his syntax will be different to the way maybe someone speaks in the streets, but it's still all English. It's not that one is vulgar English or one is classical English that then dies, and then it's all English, and they are just different registers. And these registers are affected as well by the written versus spoken form of any vernacular. In fact, if you want to say, like, for instance, you're inside an elevator or a lift and you listen to a recorded voice, and they might swap the order of some nouns, for instance, sometimes. Floor 9, like, it will sound different, but it's all English. And that's the thing. Thank you for subscribing, Magariv. I appreciate that. Imagine beating your idol at your favorite sport. You would sort of feel pity for them on some level. It's more like Vulgar Latin is compared to the classical perfect Latin. That's what we were taught. Yeah, I know people teach it, but I really think it's just a misunderstanding of how Latin as a living language worked. Of course, not everybody spoke like the classics. But I just think that, yeah, people spoke Latin, and the Romance languages came from Latin, and it was all connected.
Areas and in eastern Sicily. Many people became bilingual in Vulgar Latin and Greek. In the year 535, the Western Roman Empire fell, leaving Sicily as part of the Byzantine Empire. Its official language was Greek. Greek experienced a revival in some areas, but others remained Latin-speaking, especially Western Sicily. Then in the 9th century, Sicily came under Arab rule, first under the Aghlabid dynasty and then the Fatimid Caliphate. Greek and Latin declined as a form of Arabic called Siculo-Arabic became widely spoken. This variety of Arabic is actually the ancestor of the Maltese language. After the Normans conquered Sicily in the 11th century, they encouraged the use of Latin and Romance dialects, meaning Vulgar Latin and Norman French, and Arabic declined. The variety of Vulgar Latin spoken there was beginning to develop into a distinct language.
Yeah, you see, it's the same kind of situation that I was saying. There is Latin, then Latin evolves into Vulgar Latin, Latin dies, and then from Vulgar Latin you have these. I personally think this is nonsense. But everything else was great. The history was good. I love that he put Sicilian from Latin rather than putting it underneath Italian. So I guess one negative, one positive, they annihilated themselves. Plus he used BC, so he got 10 points because of that.
Language, Sicilian, with some influence from Arabic and Norman French, as well as Greek. As Sicilian developed, Sicily continued to be ruled by a succession of different rulers, including the Crown of Aragon, which brought Catalan influence, and the Spanish Habsburg dynasty, which brought Castilian influence. Words of Arabic origin.
There we go, you see?
It doesn't seem to me like a huge number of Arabic loanwords are still used in Sicilian, but some are. For example, the word balata, meaning stone or a slab or a
I confirm that. I do use it, and when it's really big, we say balatune, when it's really big. It's a balatone big. Yeah, we say that, correct?
Tile, from Arabic balat. The word
gelo,
meaning ice comes from Arabic jala,
tabboto,
meaning coffee.
Jello, I guess, yeah. Is it from Arabic, though? I don't know if it's from Arabic, that one. I don't know the etymology of this, but jello sounds a lot like the Latin word for it. So I don't know if that's correct. Tabbutu, coffin. Yes, but that one is not something like the youth would use today, at least in my area. Maybe in the rural areas. In the cities, we don't really use that much, but it is correct, though. He's not wrong when it comes to tabbutu.
Coffin comes from Arabic tabut. There were also some words that were borrowed from Norman French, though these may not stand out as much because they were borrowed from one Romance language into another. The word
ammucciare,
meaning to hide.
Ammucciare, yeah. It's to hide. It can be used both for things or for people. Ammucciati is like hide yourself. Yeah, correct.
It comes from Norman French bucce,
That's it.
bucciere,
meaning butcher, comes from Norman French bucce.
I never heard that one, but maybe it's not used in Palermo, but it might be used somewhere else. Vuceri? Oh, maybe I like a vucceria. No, but that one is just the noise. I don't know that one. Foddi, yeah, crazy.
fogge,
Meaning mad or foolish, comes from Norman French folle.
Does it? Because in Italian it's folle. Also, this sounds more like Eastern Sicilian to me. I would say fuad. I would add a U before the O. Sì, un fuad, to tell someone you're crazy. But I do know friends in Catania that do say it like this exactly. Racina, racina.
racina,
Yeah,
Meaning grape, comes from Norman French racine.
racina.
raggia,
Meaning rage,
Yeah.
comes from Norman French rage. The Italian word is.
rabbia,
Correct.
Both the Italian and the Norman French word came from Latin rabbia.
Man, he did perfect. All the Sicilian words are great, and I love that he uses native speakers to pronounce them. He did a fantastic job with the Sicilian words.
So the Sicilian and Italian words are related, but in a roundabout way. There was also Greek influence on Sicilian, like I mentioned. Here are a few examples.
babbiare,
To joke.
Yeah.
This comes from the ancient Greek word babazo, which means something like to speak incomprehensibly.
We use this one all the time. Babbiare, sai sababbiano means I'm joking. Cusci sababbiano. Yeah, we use it. 100% we use it. Putia, that's a shop. Yeah, a putia. In Italian is negozio, but I'm trying to think of another way to say it. Ma sì, negozio, un negozio. But in Sicilian, a putia. Minnivo ravanza putia. Vitti un cristiano ravanza putia. Putia, that's how we say it. With my mom, we would use this one as a joke, because my mom preferred to use the Italian word, but as a joke, the nissa putia. Putia.
apotea,
Meaning the shop. This comes from Greek apotheke. The word
tempolata,
meaning slap from Greek kypto.
Ti piglio a timpolate. It means I'll hit you with a slap. Strummola.
Word
strummola,
meaning spinning top from Greek strombos.
I don't even know. I don't know this one. Again, it doesn't mean he's wrong. It might just mean that I don't know it because we don't use it in my area, maybe. Or maybe I just don't know it. But spinning top, like what? It sounds extremely detailed. Like, well, when would you use this one in English? I don't know. Spinning top, like strummola. Oh, a strummola, the little toy. Okay, I got it. Now I got it. Took me a second. Now I got it.
The word
schetto,
and
schetta,
meaning single, as in unmarried, from Greek sketos, meaning simple.
In my area, we would say schietto, with a little I added here, schietto.
Some words like these are generally common in Sicilian, but I understand that there are more words of Greek origin in Sicilian dialect spoken further to the east.
Yeah, makes sense.
Variation in vocabulary is not limited to Greek loanwords, of course.
Actually, my father, he told me that in some area of Palermo itself, the word butcher that we translated with bucciere can have two other words. Because, for example, the word that I know for butcher is bucciere and also
Vucciere. Yeah.
so cainezziere.
Cainezziere is how I would say it. I never heard vuciere, but I mean, he's also from Palermo. I'm sure, as I say, it can be dependent on which one you use with your friends, with your family. Absolutely, I would say un carnezziere to mean a butcher, 100%.
But carnezziere comes from the Spanish carnicero, and it's completely different from Italian macellaio.
True.
And my father told me that actually there is another word or another two words, and then one of these two words was said more in an area of Palermo.
Yeah.
And that's very weird, of course, because like you want to learn a language that is not written yet.
Despite its particular influences, Sicilian is undeniably Italo-Romance, and when we look at it alongside Italian, the general similarities are obvious.
Yeah.
This Italian sentence means I want to buy bread.
Voglio comprare il pane.
Voglio comprare il pane. Voglio accattare un pane. Yep, correct.
An equivalent sentence in Sicilian is
Voglio accattare il pane.
word for word. Both sentences are I want to buy the bread.
And you know what's interesting? I don't know if he's going to say that. Notice how our masculine singular is u, which sounds kind of like Portuguese, because I think Portuguese spells it with an o, but still pronounce it u. So kind of a little closer to Portuguese, I suppose. And then the other thing I want to say is that the word accattare, to mean to buy, is also present in Italian, but it's considered archaic. So you'll find it in the Bible in Italian. You will find them saying accattare in the Bible, even if it's written entirely in Italian. So basically Sicilian is more conservative for a word that in standard Italian has now become a sort of old school. That's how I would say it to my friends. Like if I'm going to buy a game, I would say, ma accattare su Yoako. Accattare. Yeah. He's doing a great job. Yeah, carne means meat, both in Italian and Sicilian. In my area, we would remove the R in the pronunciation and swap it to an I. So it becomes caine, againe. And let me tell you something fun. In Palermo, there is an expression which is malagaine, which means bad meat. And it's how we describe someone who is like a punk, or like a street guy, but he's like kind of a criminal, dangerous, maybe some connections with mafia, or even if it's not, someone that you don't want to mess with, malagaine. We call them bad meat. Language is fascinating, I agree. Yeah, pan is bread in, yeah, exactly, in Romanian too. Cool. And then, of course, in English, even though they say meat, they have words like carnivore, clearly the etymological connection. So cool. So far, spotless when it comes to the sentences. Perfect.
They look and sound similar, right? But you probably noticed that Italian and Sicilian use some different vocabulary. In this case, the verbs meaning to buy.
Yeah.
Comprare.
In Italian and
Accattare.
in Sicilian. In Italian, there's the related verb accattare, which used to have the meaning of buy, but more recently it meant something more like to beg or to scrounge.
Accattare has to beg in Italian? I'm not so sure. I think they just don't use it. We just don't use it in Italian. It's just because accattare, I think they use it in other southern dialects, like in Napolitan, I believe they use it as well. So yeah, they do actually, now that I think about it. So it's more of a southern thing. And the reason why Sicilian tends to be more conservative, I think someone is asking, I think it's because it's an island. It often happens with islands. That's why like Iceland, for instance, tends to be extremely conservative linguistically. And that's also why Sardinian, specifically Northern Sardinian, is most likely the closest language to Latin that you get. I do not think it's random that islands tend to be more linguistically conservative than like even than the mainland, which may have more interactions, I suppose. Depends, but yeah. Is Ligurian the same as Napolitan? Completely different. Completely different. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Flaming, thank you for being here. You're working in 5 hours. Cool. Pretty cool dude. I just need to know right away since bedtime is gonna. Wait, what do you need to know? I don't. Let me see. See, hey Metatron, I'm gonna have to go get ready for work in maybe 5 hours. Hope I'm not asking much, but could you read it? Read what? I don't know what. I don't know what you want me to read, but Yeah. Where does the Japanese pan for bread comes from? Either from Spanish or Portuguese. That's where it comes from. Probably Portuguese would be my bet. But definitely from Romance languages. Yeah, you say from Portuguese, I think so, yeah. Let's see. Oh, a previous comment. Metatron, I'm semi-new to your YouTube channel, but more new to your Twitch channel, and after some people I watched went crazy or had issues, I ended up enjoying your stuff more. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm a YouTuber called you fascist. Oh, don't worry about it. It's a Tuesday. I'm Jewish by blood, and I've had people call me fascist and Nazi too. Goodness gracious. It may as well be a slur used by someone in a non-argument. Yeah, I agree with you. Anyway, keep doing what you're doing. I need more mentally stable people to watch who are going good family men. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Pau is bread in Portuguese. Is it? Ah, look at that. Cool. Yes, there's still quite a bit of Old Norse in modern English, more than most folks think. Be fantastic to do a little investigation onto that, wouldn't it?
You can also see that the definite article is different.
Yes.
In Italian, il, and Sicilian, u, which can also be lu, depending on the variety of Sicilian.
Yeah.
You can also see that the equivalent words are pronounced and spelled somewhat differently in Italian and Sicilian. It's very common for words in Italian with an e sound spelled with e to have an I sound spelled with I in Sicilian.
I don't know if it's a e sound though. Upani. No, it's a e. I disagree with you here. It's not a e. E doesn't exist in Romance languages as far as I know. There may be some very small exceptions, but for instance, that's a sound, and I'm a Sicilian speaker, I'm native. But I had to learn to say hit rather than hit, or like to say sit instead of seat. It was difficult for me because I don't have the sound. Now I'm trying to think, but in this situation, accattari, upani, it's pani. It's just that sometimes in some varieties of Sicilians, this will actually be read accattare and pane. So they will put a full-on e. So it's either e or e. It's not a e. There may be exceptions that perhaps I can't think of right now, but if you look at these, it's not pa, it's a e, pani. Or you swap it to a complete e.
Sicilian. We see this in the Italian word
pane,
and Sicilian.
pani,
We can also see it in the infinitive form of the first verb,
volere,
in Italian and
voleri,
in Sicilian. Another example is the Italian word for love,
amore,
and Sicilian.
amore,
I would like to underline that whoever did the Italian, I'm going to provide some commentary here, but whoever did the Italian recording is a Sicilian. He has an accent. So when he does amore, it's pretty good. Like, obviously, he's doing it perfectly in a Sicilian way. But then again, if maybe, and this is something we could do together, Lang Focus. I'm not saying, like, you are the big channel when it comes to languages, so I'm not trying to be like, oh, yeah, invite me. No, if anything, be great to have you come to my channel, because I don't want to be, I don't know, disrespectful. But I would be really happy to look at these words, for instance, at one point, and discuss how to pronounce an accentless standard Italian as opposed to a Sicilian inflated Italian, if you know what I mean. So, for instance, in this case, the guy said amore, amore. So the O was very open, and that, and not to mention, but there is also pace and intonation that gives it as, oh, that's a Sicilian guy who recorded. If I had to go, and I did study diction at university, so I know how to switch between the two. I'm trained, kind of what voice actors do, for instance. And if I had to go accentless on this, I would say amore, amore. The difference is not only the intonation, but the O and the E are closed vowels. So a, mo, re, rather than amore. All right, I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I mean, I'm sure he can because he's trained. O instead of o. And knowing when you open a vowel, so o, and when you close it, o, or in the case of the other vowel, e versus e, it takes a lot of practice even for a native speaker, because no one has these open and closed vowels natively unless you're from Tuscany. People in Rome tend to have them very close to it, but in my experience, it's only people from Tuscany that have them perfect. Everyone else opens and closes vowels regionally. So in this case, amore would be the standard sort of, I know that accentless, it's a controversial way to put it, but you know what I mean. Standard way of saying it.
In these examples, you can also see that o in Italian often
Yep.
corresponds to u in Sicilian.
Absolutely.
Italian
colore,
meaning
Colori.
color, and Sicilian
Yep.
colori,
O colori.
Italian
domani,
Romani.
and Sicilian
romani,
Notice that the D was like an R, Rumani.
Another thing to note is that in some varieties of Sicilian, d becomes r, an alveolar tap
That's
when
mine.
followed by a vowel.
Yep.
That's a consonant you might associate with r more than d, especially at the beginning of a word. In
Yes.
Palermo, it's
romani,
That's exactly how we say it. Rumani. Rumani mattina. Tomorrow morning.
Italian,
fiore,
meaning flower, is Sicilian.
fiori,
In this example, we can see that the first consonant is different too. What's up with that? Well, this is an example of a regular sound correspondence between Italian and Sicilian. Fl in Latin became fi in Italian, but became sci in Sicilian. These words come from Latin florem,
He did it as a he, though. Let me hear it again.
Italian, but became sci in Sicilian.
Oh, it's like, so, it depends on the area in Sicily. In Palermo, it's more like a SH, but softer. So it's similar to the X in Mandarin, a little bit, maybe. I'm trying to see if I can find a, because it's shuri. It's like a shuri. But there are areas in Sicily that say churi, like a ch. So it depends on the area. Something similar happens at the end, like if you have a word like light, luce, standard Italian. In my area in Palermo, the ch becomes luce, so it's more of a sh. But like in areas such as southern Sicily, like Agrigento, they turn it into a g, luce. So you can tell immediately where someone is from, just from the accent, just how they render some sounds.
These words come from Latin florem.
Yeah.
Another example is Latin flumen, meaning river, which
Usciume.
became Italian
fiume,
Usciume.
and Sicilian.
sciome,
Similarly, Latin pl became Italian p, but in Sicilian it becomes chi. Planta, Latin for plant, became
pianta,
in Italian and
pianta,
in Sicilian. Plangere, the Latin verb meaning to wail or lament, became
piangere,
in Italian and
chiancere,
in
Chianceri, but I'm actually learning here because I know these words naturally. Chianceri, sempre ca chiancisi, which means why you always, like you always cry. Sempre ca chiancisi, sempre ca chiancisi. But I didn't know that they came from, that chianceri came from plangere because of how the P evolved into, I did not know that. So he's actually teaching me stuff about Sicilian. I love it, man. I love this guy.
Sicilian, which both mean to cry. Also, where Latin l is followed by an I, together pronounced li, in Italian it becomes y, and in Sicilian it becomes a doubled y or g,
Very true.
usually followed by the vowel sound e. Latin familia, meaning family, became
famiglia,
in Italian and
famiglia,
in Sicilian.
Yep.
Mulier, Latin for wife, became
moglie,
in Italian and
moghiere,
in Sicilian.
I want to show you. Yeah, mughiere. A me mughiere.
For wife became
moglie,
in Italian
You see the way he said it, even in this case, moglie. Standard, moglie. I know you might think it sounds the same. It actually doesn't. The vowel is closed, o, but the GL, you can tell where someone is from by the way they render the GL sound. In standard, it's a l. It can be difficult. Figlio, famiglia, moglie, foglia, l. That's standard. And it's commonly natively spoken like this in center north. So like Tuscany, Rome, that's how they say it. If you go south, like this speaker and me natively, we simplify it into a Y. So it becomes y, moglie, figlio, famiglia, foglia. It's like a Y. If you go in the north, some people, not everyone, but some people will simplify it, basically drop the G completely and read it as an L. Familia, and maybe not with moglie, but with a word like filio, familia, mia figlia, yeah, they do that. So some people, depends on the word. So yeah, GL is another indicator of region and where you're from. Whoever did the recording clearly Sicilian, even when they read Italian.
and
Moghiere.
in Sicilian. And one more. Latin doubled L, L, is a doubled L in Italian as well, but in Sicilian it's a doubled D,
Bella.
D, or J. Latin bellus, meaning beautiful or pleasant, became
Bello.
in Italian, but
Bello.
in Sicilian. Another element
In my area, I would say beardo, beardo. And I think I do say it with a j rather than d. I gotta say it a few times though. Beardo, si beardo, dai che beardo. Yeah, I think it's a d. Beardo, si beardo.
of Sicilian pronunciation
But again, it's not wrong the way he put it there. Bedu is how they say it in some other areas.
that's worth pointing out is that most of the voiced consonants tend to be pronounced as doubled at the beginning of a word. A mia, meaning to me, sounds like
A mea.
the word for red.
Rosso.
There are other
Did you notice the double R?
A mea.
the word for red.
Rosso.
All right, let me say a couple of things here as well. He did a fantastic job with like to think that someone who doesn't speak Sicilian knows so much about Sicilian. It's very heartwarming. I love it. Did you notice that the double R sound here was almost like a J in the French word je suis, je, or giusto, giusto, giusto. Not everyone does it. For instance, you could say cappuccetto rosso. Yeah, some people do that, and other people just read it as a strong trilled R. Cappuccetto rosso. Some people say it like that. That means little red riding hood. How do you say it? I don't remember. Anyways, the red hood from the tales. Uomo ragno, ragno meaning, or ragno, depending on how you want to do the R, is spider. When it comes to this happens in Italian, standard Italian too. The idea is, when you have an A, for example, let's imagine that you use it as a, if you want to say andiamo, let's go, to A, and then you put a city. Andiamo a Roma, andiamo a Palermo, andiamo a Milano. I'm using standard here. The A is followed, when the A is followed by a consonant, the consonant is read in a doubled sense. So it's stronger and longer. And this is called, it has a term in Italian, raddoppiamento fonosintattico. That's how we call it. It's the technical term for it. People don't do it in the north. So they will say a Milano, a Roma, a Brindisi, a Palermo. So they don't do it. But everywhere else in the country, everyone doubles it. In Italian too. It's not just a Sicilian thing. A Palermo, a Milano, a Roma, a Brindisi. Sounds like it's stronger, right? And the reason is that, and it's the correct way to do it, because the original Latin would be ad Brundisium. So if you say a Brindisi without any doubling, it makes it sound like one word, even though, and it kind of messes up the timing and rhythm of it, which is why standard Italian separates the two by elongating, and it becomes a Brindisi, and it sounds like a bridge, if you will, between the two. So the fact that Sicilian writes one M but does a mea to mean to me is actually a rule that is found in correctly spoken Italian, and all voice actors have to use it. Now, given people in southern Italian tend to do it a bit too much, so we'll do it even when you're not supposed to. We just double everything. But people in the north suffer from the opposite, and they don't double anything when they're supposed to. My dad, very guilty of that. And so the reality is that only those who actually study proper diction know when to do it correctly. It's fascinating. Scotty, hey, Metatron, hope you're having a good week, mate. I am, absolutely. Does that sound like a sh with a bit more resonance? Hard to explain. It's difficult to say because it's not exactly a sh, luce. It's like a sh, but a little less intense. I don't know how to explain it. It's just natively, but I don't know how to explain it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Carl. It's like the difference between English, British English, American English, and all the different varieties. It's normal to have. All right, let's do a little more, and then let me see if we get a bit more. Let's see.
There are other pronunciation quirks of the various dialects too. The speaker in this video is from Palermo, the largest city in Sicily.
Yeah.
In the Palermo dialect, when r is followed by a consonant, it's pronounced like e. The word for door
porta,
is pronounced
poita,
Or puaita. You can even add a U here, but yeah, correct.
the word for late
tardo,
becomes.
taido,
Yeah.
There's also diphthongization in some vowels. For example,
feisa,
meaning
fies.
party becomes.
fiesa,
Correct. Fiesa. Yeah, that's right. I would never know how to explain someone to do this T because it's not completely gone. I'm sure he'll do it. He's really good at doing that. It's still there a little bit, but I don't say fiesta. I say fiesa. But it's not like fiesa. Fiesa. Oh, it's so difficult to explain it.
Also notice that the cluster st is pronounced like s with the T silent.
It's almost, but it's not silent. My gosh, I don't know how to explain it. It's one of those things that only natives can tell, I guess. And how do you... So, let's see if I can explain it. If I completely remove the T and it went completely silent, it would be fiesa, fiesa, sa, just sa. But the reality is that there is a little bit of lengthening there, which it's like you are only hinting that the T was supposed to be there, but then you don't commit. Does that make sense? Afiaisa, sa, sa. It's like you're almost starting to engage the parts of the mouth to pronounce the T, but then you give up at the last moment. Maybe that's a good way. You know what's it's like like the beginning of a glottal stop. Maybe it's like when you say forget, forgot, but you went forget, forgot. It's not that you are saying actually forget, forgot. It's not completely mute. Like that's what a glottal stop is. Like you're starting to pronounce it, you don't fully extend it, you like give up. It's like a feint, like in combat. That's what it is. That's how I would explain this. I actually think I did a good job. That's how I would explain this. Afiesa. Because there is a little bit of this. There's a little bit.
At least in some accents.
foco,
Meaning fire becomes.
fuoco,
Yeah.
And don't forget the feature I mentioned earlier. D at the beginning of a word followed by a vowel becomes an alveolar trill.
romane,
Yes.
Grammar. In terms
Alright, the grammar part, guys, go watch the original video because I want him to get the engagement, but he did such a good job, and I'm gonna watch this on my own. I just want to watch the entire thing. Stuvino meagyu rikidu ka vivi ieri. I'm just reading this. Stuvino meagyu rikidu ka vivi ieri. Ieri, you could even say. Iddu mirisse ka veni rumani. Yeah. Iddu mirisse ka veni rumani. Oh, then he has different pronunciation. That's awesome. That's awesome. He did a great job to speak. How much do you speak Sicilian and how much do you speak Italian? Oh, that's a good question. Wait.
So that tells me that Sicilian is a distinct language from Italian.
Then you are the man for saying that.
To speak the local language.
Some Sicilian speakers have told me that they themselves are sometimes unaware of whether they're speaking Sicilian or Italian, at least
Yes.
until they think about it, because they
Yep.
sort of function like two registers of one language being spoken on a continuum.
Man, that's spot on. Exactly. That's how I was brought up. Also because my mom speaks Sicilian, my dad doesn't, because he's northern. But in general, yeah, that's what you do. You can switch between the two, even though they function very differently. The grammar is different sometimes. And one thing, I don't know if I'm sure he said it in the grammar part, but one thing we do in Sicilian is that we tend to put the verb at the end when it's an emphatic clause. So you want to present emphasis. Sicilians will put the verb at the end, a bit like Latin. And that's something that is so characteristic of Sicilian that whenever I did use it without even thinking, when I was in mainland, everybody was like, Sicilian. And I was like, what do you mean you don't do that? And like, no, really? To give you an example, if I want to say I am Sicilian, I would say sogno siciliano. Sogno siciliano. So sogno meaning I am, Siciliano meaning Sicilian. But if someone says, oh my gosh, you speak Sicilian, and I want to emphasize, well, I am Sicilian, you know how you're doing it in English, I am Sicilian, so like, of course, then I would say Siciliano sogno, and I would put sogno at the end, so Sicilian, I am Siciliano sogno. And that's something we do a lot, and usually people from mainland don't. As far as I know, no one in mainland does it. So yeah.
Continuum. But the distinction becomes clearer when I think about the children of Sicilian migrants around the world who learned Sicilian as a native language but never formally
Yeah.
learned Standard Italian.
Yeah.
I've heard from some of them that Standard Italian is like a foreign language to them, just like Spanish or another Romance language is.
Sure.
So that tells me that Sicilian is a distinct language from Italian while still being a language of Italy.
100%. My dad still doesn't like if my dad calls me tomorrow and we speak on the phone, and instead of saying the Italian "Pronto, ciao papà, come stai? Che hai fatto oggi di bello? Ti sei divertito con tua sorella?" That would be just a sentence in Italian. If I switch and it starts speaking Sicilian, "Che è papà, che facissi stamattina? Ti a mangiare un panino capuicchetta putia?" If I do that, my dad will not understand a word of what I said. Nothing. And so and his son is Sicilian. So imagine someone who doesn't even have a connection, you know? And 100%. The verb at the end keeps you in suspense. Absolutely, Carl. That's why for me, Japanese, the idea of putting the verb at the end in Japanese, not a problem. Not a problem. I know that sometimes it can slow down your ability to speak fluently, but for me, it never was. So the idea of saying, I don't know, 明日は日本に行きます. So I'm putting 行きます, 行く at the end, or like 来る at the end. So tomorrow I go to Japan, for instance, or 東京に行きたいですね. I'd like to go to Tokyo. But in reality, you're saying tomorrow, Tokyo, to, or Japan, to go. That's how you're saying it, in the order in Japanese. But for me, it was never a problem. Verb at the end, piece of cake. Piece of cake.
The question of the day. To native speakers of Sicilian, how much do you speak Sicilian and how much do you speak Italian?
Yeah, so I will use 100% Italian in a formal situation. Like I won't even use a single word of Sicilian. And unless the people in that context start using Sicilian, and then I understand it's accepted and then I might do it. But I would normally, if it's formal, 100% Italian. If it's a job interview, 100% Italian. If I'm speaking to someone who's not Sicilian, but they're from another area of Italy, 100% Italian. But if I'm with good friends, like people that we were brought up together, I will switch to 100% Sicilian. If we are like having fun, if we are joking, having fun, playing a game, maybe you're playing Call of Duty, Sicilian is a language. Sicilian is a language. With other Sicilians, amone, te sparo un tia, te sganghi guaina. That's gonna be Sicilian. But then, if like a parent enters the room, imagine you're teenagers, a parent enters the room, I wouldn't speak Sicilian to the parent. To their father. I would say like, buongiorno, grazie, arrivederci. I would switch to Italian. So we switch constantly. And it really becomes a situation of, you would have to ask me like 50 different situations that I would tell you when I use Sicilian, when I use Italian. And that's me. But depending on which area of Sicilian you're brought up in, you might speak Sicilian more than me, because we were brought up in an area that tended to speak Italian, who was more educated. But if you were brought up in an area like Zen, which means Zona Espansione Nord, northern expansion zone of Palermo, there are lovely people that live there, but it's an area where you have a lot of council houses and there is poverty. And then they would speak Sicilian a lot of the time, and in a lot of situations where I wouldn't. And then there might be some Sicilians that are so polite and maybe upper class that they don't even use Sicilian, and when they try to use it, you can tell. You're like, yeah, but you're not really good at Sicilian, are you? So strangely enough, that does happen too. Anyways, phenomenal job. I'll go watch the rest on my own, but I just want to say, Lang Focus, you did a fantastic job. Give you a like, and absolutely keep up the good work, man. You're great. I really appreciate when people take the time to learn all of these things. And I would like to hear him speak. You know, I'm going to invite him to the channel if he will. And I'm going to give him some Sicilian, and then we see if he can repeat it. If he can speak, like, it would be great. I want to teach him some Sicilian. That would be great. Because I understand why he uses voice actors that speak it natively. I think that's a great choice when it comes to the professionalism of the information presented, rather than he himself using it. I heard him pronounce French a few times, and he does a really good job. His French must be good, must be a language he's very confident in. But oftentimes, if he's speaking Mandarin, about Japanese, he'll hire people that are natives to record, which is great. But it would be so cool to hear him actually say full sentences in Sicilian. So it would be great to do that. But we'll see. Man, it was good. It was good. It was really good. I think we're good with React. I don't want to react anymore tonight. I think that's good. Also because it's almost 2 a.m. But yeah, many languages don't have a word for do, which is really strange for English speakers. Or maybe sometimes they collide it with the verb to make. That's something that happens. So basically the verb make also means do. In Italian, that's how it is. We have the word, the verb fare, which can be both do and make. So that's one of the situations. And in Japanese, you have the verb suru, which is to do, and to make is tsukuru. Don't quote me on the, I'm confident in suru for the pitch. For tsukuru, I would say tsukuru rather than tsukuru, but I didn't look it up. So I'm not 100% confident on that one. Legato asks for dekimasu. Dekimasu is to be able to do. Is to, like, for instance, I could say Nihongo. Well, I would say Nihongo hanaseru to be like, I can speak Japanese, but you can also say Nihongo hanasu koto ga dekiru. So dekiru is like to be able to. It's like a can, or to be able to, rather than do. Dekiru, dekimasu. Yeah. Makes sense, yeah. Really, really cool. Des or not des, that is the question. It's a very polite way to say it as well, because you could say da or not da. That is the question. I like da more than des, but unfortunately it's considered informal, so you can only use it in certain situations. Oh, someone wrote, お前は俺の友達ではない, which means you are not my friend in Japanese, yeah. And it's also kind of like, omae is such a rude way to say you in Japanese that I've only used it once, and because I was pissed at the guy. I used omae and I used teme again because I was really pissed, but otherwise, not only, like, there is a slightly more formal way to say you in Japanese, which is anata, and then they have the informal that goes in between anata and omae, so it's like in between, and it's kimi. But kimi I've used, and anata I've used, but only like maybe with someone that I was in a relationship with. Normally Japanese do not use the pronoun for you. They just call you by name. It's considered the polite way to do it. So you wouldn't say, anata wa, and then ask a question to someone that you're not close to. It sounds strange. In that case, if his name is, I don't freaking know, if his name is Yamaguchi or his name is Yamada, then I would just say, Yamada-san wa, to say, so Mr. Yamada is, and then you basically speak in third person to the person you speak to, and that's the way you do it in Japanese to be polite. Yeah, kimi is, it's cute. I like the sound of kimi. I like it a lot. But, yeah. When you don't know how to use anata, don't use it. Just use the name. It's my best suggestion for you when it comes to engaging with Japanese people. And of course, yeah, ask the name. In that case, just ask it. Onamae wa, you can ask the name. Sumimasen, onamae wa. And of course, you could say, onamae wa nan desu ka? But you don't need to say the whole thing. You can drop it. Sumimasen, onamae wa. And then they'll tell you the name. And then whenever you want to ask, so do you like pizza? You can actually ask in third person and say, does Mr. Yamada like pizza? That's how they say it. Just notice your shirt. Oh yeah, I am Maiden all the way. Hangar 18, I don't remember that one. And then Carl was saying, yeah, but you misspelled it. For the common blessing before a Japanese meal, it's itadakimasu. Itadakimasu. So yeah, it's misspelled. But yeah, itadakimasu. It literally means I receive. That's the verb itadaku is to receive. So and that's the only case when they do this, by the way. The Japanese do not do this when they say thank you. So when you see someone saying arigato, then they are beginners. They don't know anything. It's just arigato, or you could bow if you want. But this is the only case when they say itadakimasu before they eat, and it means I honorably receive, if you really wanted to translate it. And the reason why I'm adding honorable is just the conjugation, because it's very polite. Yeah. Yeah, Yamada is very common. It's Yama is mountain, and da on its own is ta or tambo, which means rice field or a paddy. a rice paddy. But so together is basically the rice field or the rice paddy on the mountain. That's what Yamada means. Yeah. It's the same da that you find in Honda for like even the Street Fighter, Edmund Honda. Hong is the same for Nihon, Japan, and means origin or source. And then da is once again tambo, which means rice field. So the source of a rice paddy is Honda. That one I'm confident with the pitch is low to high, Honda. Yeah. It's kind of a thank you for this meal, yeah. It's like I'm receiving the meal, thank you, eat, yeah, and that's what you do. And but it's important that when I was teaching Japanese to my students, I did tell them that itadakimasu means to receive, and it's important to understand that, because once you understand it, then you will not make the typical mistake that beginners make when you see someone else getting ready to eat, and then you want to tell them, enjoy your meal, and then you tell them, itadakimasu, that's weird, because basically you're telling them, I'm going to receive your food. So it's wrong. You don't tell someone else like buon appetito, bon appetit. You can tell someone that, but you cannot tell someone itadakimasu because you can only say it when you're about to receive food, which is why I want people to realize, to understand what you're actually saying rather than translating it into your own language without knowing the real meaning of the words you're using. It's important to do that. Yeah. It is very, yeah, true. This, yeah, it's a symbol, it's everywhere, really. I went to Toyota Museum and a lot of the old machinery was branded Toyota. Oh, really? Before the switch? Interesting. Well, yeah, because you can read it both ways, really. Japanese, particularly, is very irregular when it comes to the reading of kanji. And believe it or not, I find Chinese a lot more regular. Mandarin, particularly, is a lot more regular. And when you learn the pronunciation of a character, then 9 times out of 10, sometimes even more than that, that's how you pronounce it. Doesn't matter where you find it. But Japanese, yeah, good luck with that. It takes a very long time. Yeah, if you remove kanji and grammar, yeah, if you remove kanji, Japanese is not too difficult, but kanji, well, it is more difficult than Chinese when it comes to grammar, in my opinion. But yeah, sure. Kanji is one of the, probably the single hardest component within the Japanese language is kanji. I heard someone say that Toyota means garbage. Oh no, garbage is gomi in Japanese. It's not Toyota. No, ta once again must be rice field. I've never seen it written in kanji, and there is a monumental amount of homophony in Japanese, meaning that if you ask me what's the meaning of the word shi, I can give you 70 different meanings. That's why it's so important to write with the characters, because there is a monumental amount of homophony. So, but if I had to guess, Toyo can mean east, but I don't know if that's how you spell it. I would have to see how it's spelled. There's no way to guess it, really. Probably a silly question. What does kanji mean? And does kanji have its own kanji? Yes, kanji has its own kanji. And ji means letter or character. And kan, it means Chinese. So it's basically Chinese letters. Because it would be the equivalent of hanzi in Mandarin. Hanzi. And it means Chinese letter. Because Han is the ethnic group, the highest ethnic group in China. And kan is probably an older reading from classical Chinese that maintains the K that then transforms into an H, probably. But yeah, it means Chinese letters. Kanji. Is Japanese hard to learn for a native English speaker? Yes, I won't lie to you. Japanese is difficult to learn. It takes a monumental amount of time to reach fluency. So you can think it's easy from a logical perspective, but I double dare you to then try and have a conversation with the Japanese and understand everything if you've only put a couple of years in the language. It takes a long time. Right now, after the 4 years I spent there and the previous 4 years studying it at university, 8 years of experience, yeah, you can put me in Japan, I'll understand them. Not a problem. But it takes a lot of work. And in fact, I think Japanese, it may be easier to speak than to understand, but then again, that's subjective. Depends on the person. You're welcome, Scotty. Fun fact, the Han used to be matched by a different ethnic group in South China called the Tang. IIRC, and then the only tongue left in the world now are Vietnamese. Really? I didn't know about that. That's interesting. Chan equals can. Cool. Can you understand them when they sing fast-paced songs? Usually yes, unless they're using extremely, like, very slang vocabulary. Like, I remember this song that went... Nante kotta kanari hamatteru hasato kairi no rashu na hinho no hidai na kore. Like, I remember this rap, and I could understand it, but then again, there were some expressions that I was like, what does that mean? And then a native would have to explain it. So it kind of depends. Oh, that's how you spell Toyo. Toyo, cool. Look at that. Oh yeah, I do know that. Isn't that the character? Ooh, I haven't seen that character in such a long time. I would have to Google it. Cool. Interesting. I have a hard time enough with Chinese, so I'll hold off with Japanese for now. You gotta choose one of the two. Learning both at the same time is insane. You could do it, but it's insane. And at the end of the day, what's gonna happen, most likely, unless you are like a specialist, someone who can put 10 hours a day for a few years, unless you're that, then what's gonna happen is that you won't reach fluency in either. Like, you'll know a lot more than someone who doesn't study, so you'll be able to impress your friends that don't speak these languages. But then when you are compared to someone who is specialized in one, then you might not even be able to be conversational. So my suggestion would be stick to one, focus on it, get at least to conversational. I'm not saying fluent, but be conversational, like confident enough to be able to hold a conversation, and then maybe you can start learning, diverting some time to the other language you're interested in. I mean, that's what I did. First I reached conversational level in Japanese. I had experience of a few months in Japan. Then I came back and I could already speak it. Not fluently, but I could speak it. And then I started learning Mandarin. But then when I moved back to Japan again, I stopped Mandarin completely in order to be able to reach fluency in Japanese. And then be confident that I could be like an interpreter, that I could work with Japanese, that I could have a relationship with a Japanese, speak normally, naturally. And then only then I started looking back into Mandarin because my Japanese was solid. If you divert too many resources onto both languages when you're still a beginner, it's just going to slow you down and it might be frustrating. Unless you're a full-time specialist, it's like full-time student, then you can do it, I guess. Yeah. But anyways, I think I'm going to go to bed, guys. It's 2 a.m. So yeah, it's time to neru in Japanese and 睡觉 in Chinese. It's time to sleep. So let's do that. And thank you so much for joining the stream. I really appreciated that. Scotty says, I want to learn some local Aboriginal dialect. You totally should. That would be so fun. But yeah, no, thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. And I will see you probably tomorrow. I think I'm going to go live tomorrow again. But yeah, oyasumi and good night. Wan an in Chinese. Buonanotte in Italian. And I will see you tomorrow. Take care, guys. Thank you for joining the stream. Bye. Where is the other one? I'm going to have to stop it from here. Ciao, ciao, ciao.